if it was verbal or if it was sexual. And for example, I had an employee one time that had to deliver a tough message to an employee who was having problems with their medical insurance or something. And sometimes out of total outrage, some of these employees would take it out on another employee. My employee came to me and she said, I want to file a harassment claim against an employee who verbally abused me. And I said, what was discussed? And she says, well, she had her brochure. And so anyway, I called this employee's manager. And I said, my employee had a discussion with your employee, and it was this and this and this, and she felt verbally harassed and abused by your employee, and she wants to bring a claim against him. And the manager was just like totally blown away, and he says, how could this be? And I said, well, you and I were not part of this discussion, and all she wants is an apology from him for what he said to her. And the manager took it. He went and he talked to his employee. The employee apologized to my employee. It was done. And so that took care of the problem. All she wanted was an apology because she felt personally harassed, and she had every right to bring that claim. So that's another example.
Just have a couple more questions. I guess just if you have one, just one example of, you've spoken a lot about the things that you really liked about HP and how HR worked within this system. Any frustrations about the role of HR within that particular system that you worked within?
Probably the biggest frustration was the change that we had to make. And because not only me as a person, but managers, I am talking high-level managers, I am talking group HR managers that were having problem with the change because of the culture that we had. And the change was that there was going to be no more hand-holding. We were integrating technology, and people were going to have to start using this technology to make their own personal decisions. And as they make their personal decisions and as they look up information, you could no more go to a department and say, geez, I want to look at my personal file. Guess what? Your file is now online. You can look it up yourself. So that took years it took many years to get that change done. So I understand how long change really takes when you are in a mode of, geez, I really like the fact that I get to go see Carol Durán and go over my file and talk about my insurance. That no longer was there. And that happened in the 90s because, again, of trying to we're no longer in the business to have people there to handhold. That took 10, 15 years.
Okay.
And that was probably very frustrating. I had many functional managers who, you talk about verbal abuse, who would come and say, how can you do this? How can you change this? This is something we've always had. It wasn't me. It was a company decision. But a lot of people, it got ugly,
All right, my last question is, what do you think, just overall, should be the broad purpose of human resources? What would be your own philosophy of human resources? Human resource management.
I think there's nothing more than having a really healthy environment where human resource can play. I think this new generation of people are very savvy with technology, feel totally comfortable with no more of the hands-on. But I think, to me, the biggest value is to have their managers manage their people and manage their business. And I think HR can always play that role, because if you're a CEO, if you're a functional manager, a business unit manager, you're focused on the business, and there's the HR side that you still need to have a healthy organization with people feeling good about what they're doing, that ultimately contributes to the bottom line, that ultimately makes a company successful. I know that as a company, we were definitely much more ahead in the forefront of getting our managers to do things like wage compensation, manage their people more, I think, than other companies. We used to hear that. So I think, to me, the mindset of managers realizing that HR doesn't play their role in taking care of benefits. Those are really managed by tools that are provided to the employees. They have to utilize and learn and understand that HR is there to be again, strategic partner, business partner in helping their business become viable, be able to respond to the fluctuation of the economy, get a workforce in there that has the skill set and the talents to be able to design, produce, and sell a product that contributes to the bottom line of the company profit.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much, Carol. And
thank you.
It's been very interesting.
Well, good. I hope you find this useful.
All right. Cool.